So, a while back ago, I read an article about the 100 greatest games that were ever made. I tallied it up and realized that I'd only played about 20 of them, and it didn't leave me feeling too great about myself. I'd always considered myself to be a gamer, but I'd obviously failed at keeping up with the trends over the years. Thinking about it, I've really only played World of Warcraft for about the last 15 years. I've accomplished a lot, but it doesn't really make me feel better. I decided that I'm going to fix this by setting out and playing a whole bunch of games that I've missed out on and documenting my thoughts as I go. The first game I'm going to be discussing is Borderlands. The first actual game on the list was Borderlands 2, but I figured why play a sequel first? It doesn't make sense to me. I want to play all these games anyway, so why not just play the entire series? I've always heard good things about it, and I'm guessing the first will likely feed into the lore of the rest of the series anyway. Borderlands 1 was released in 2009, and I remember just a few things about it. First, my friends just kind of generally talking about it. Second, the art style, which I always thought was like really kind of cool and unique looking. And third, guns. There was like a million different variations of guns or weapons that you could have, and that I think was one of the selling points originally. It's also the first game where I ever heard the term looter shooter, and after playing it, I felt that that really fit. So my overall feeling before I got started with the game was that it kind of had some Fallout vibes to it. Both games just kind of had this post-apocalyptic aesthetic. You're fighting raiders. There's this futuristic device thing, Fallout with its Pip-Boy and Borderlands with the Echo device. But that's really kind of where the similarities ended. The game starts by just kind of throwing you into doing stuff without really providing much backstory. Your character is described as a vault hunter. The game begins with you being kicked off a bus at the outskirts of a town. A woman who is come to be known as Angel hacks your Echo device and tells you to go talk to a robot. She'll continue to check in on you as you quest your way through the world, until eventually you start getting somewhere with this workaholic lady whose name is Tannis. She's super obsessed with all the alien culture that's left on the planet, and that's kind of where the story starts coming into play. Tannis has you start looking for the vault keys because there's a vault that can only be opened every 200 years, and lo and behold, that time is upon us. Long story short, the vault is actually just a door that is holding an interdimensional being on the other side that wants to destroy all life as we know it. After you kill it, Angel comes back. She apologizes for tricking you into doing all this and tells you can sell the keys for some good money, and the credits roll. Not sure why the vault had to be open in the first place, but here we are. Overall, I had a really good time running through the game. I thought the drab colors and everything kind of fit the theme of the desert wastelands. There was some really cool Mad Max stuff that went on partway through the game where you could start doing car battles and doing really cool jumps and ramps and stuff. Overall, the gameplay wasn't too complicated. I think I could have chosen my skills better or allocated my skill points differently because it was easier as I leveled up. Not that it was terribly hard in the first place, but that is what it is. I probably did myself a disservice by playing the class I played because it was more of a sniper class, and my play style is a little bit more point-blank shootout. Live and learn. I did look to see if there were any communities centered around Borderlands 1s, but I didn't really find much. YouTube had a couple of challenge videos where people did some really fun challenges. Most of the videos were just reminiscing about it and seeing if it still held up. Reddit kind of seemed to just focus solely on all the other Borderlands. There was a speedrun community, but there was only about 8 people that actively did speedruns for the game. It looked like it was a lot of fun, and it did look like it could be done pretty quick, so it might be an interesting place to start if you're trying to get into that sort of scene. I'm not looking at any of the DLC or the multiplayer aspects that exist. I did hear a little bit about them, but honestly, I felt like I just kind of wanted to move forward with the rest of the series. I don't think I'm really missing much, but you can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that. Most of the complaints I had about the game were fixed in the Game of the Year version, so there's that. You should probably choose that one if you're looking to play it. At the time of making this video, the only version that was available to buy was the Game of the Year edition, but it comes with both the OG versions and the Game of the Year remake. So don't make my mistake. Play the Game of the Year. There was a ton of quality of life updates that would have likely improved my experience with the game. Otherwise, the music didn't really leave me with much of anything to talk about. There was the intro music, and then things would literally start popping off whenever bad guys attacked or you got into any kind of fights. Other than that, the only other complaint I had was literally every corpse was the same character model of this one dead guy, which was kind of weak. I don't know why they couldn't have changed it up with like a couple of different models or a female version or something like that, but it is what it is. I definitely had a lot of fun playing it though. It did build a lot of expectations for the sequels, so I'm looking forward to those now. People did seem to have a lot of nostalgia around the game, and I can see why. I'm happy to say that I still think that it holds up. So, yeah, have fun.